Hello friends, welcome back. Previous video we were setting up, what were we doing? We were just setting up some of our thumbnails for our characters. We imported the textures, we've created all of these. We set up some settings in our maps, etc. And we also set up our player info and save games. In this video what we're going to do is start working on the main menu, the front end inside of UMG. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and continue. Make sure that you are on the main menu map. Let's go to UI and main menu, and let's open up main menu. Okay, we are inside of UMG on the designer tab. And for this, what we're going to do is, let's start out over in the palette. What we're going to need is a border. So we're going to start out with a border. Take that, drag that on top of the canvas panel. On top of the border, we're going to need a vertical box to keep all of our text, all of our options aligned. So we'll go to Panel and Vertical Box. We'll take that, drag that, and drop that on top of the border. Inside of the vertical box, we're going to have some text, first of all. So we'll have some text at the top. And underneath the text, we're going to have all of our buttons for our options. So let's get a button, and let's drag that in. On top of that button, we're going to have some text. So we'll drag some text on top of the button, like so. So we're going to have 4 options from the main menu. So let's take our button here, just copy it on top of the vertical box. Now paste it, and paste it. So we should have 4 buttons and some text. Now it doesn't look like much inside of the graph here, but let's make some changes so we can see it a little bit better. So I'm going to stretch this out now a little bit. Something like so. For now, move it over to the center. And I'm also going to anchor it to the center so it always appears in the center like so. So for this border, first of all, let's change it to something other than white. So let's take the border and let's go down to Appearance and Brush Color. So Brush Color is the one we want. Let's see. Nope. Let's zero this out. So we'll 0, 0, 0. And we'll set the alpha to say 0.5. Our background is going to be black anyway, so it's not going to matter. We're not going to see anything. But if we had this menu on top of something with a lit level, we'd still want to have a border behind our menu option so that we could see it better. And that border will have some transparency to it since we added the alpha to 0.5. Okay, so let's take our text block here. This is going to be our header, so let's just call this something like main menu over in the details panel there. So main menu. Let's change the size of this. Let's bump this way up to something like 64, so it's a little bit bigger. Then what we'll do is we'll take, let's center it up too, so it's in the center. We can take our border now and we can click this option, size to content. So it'll look like that. So that'll be our menu. There we go. Okay, and on each of our buttons, let's change the text on those. So our first one here will be host game. And on this one, you know what, before we do this, let's delete this. Do this a lot easier actually. Let's delete all of these and keep only host game, because we want to style this button a little bit so that when we hover over it, it changes color. And if we do it now and then copy it, we won't have to do it on each individual button. So let's go to Style. Make sure you have the button selected. Go to Style, Hovered, expand that, under Tint. We're going to pick like a yellowish color or something like that. Before I hit OK, I'm going to take this and just drag it up here so that we have reference to this exact color a little bit later. So click OK. So. And for this button, let's actually rename this. Over here in the hierarchy, hit F2 on it, call it Host Button. So. And we could change the color of the font. Feel free to stylize this however you'd like, but I think this is good. This is good for now. So now we can take this button, copy it, paste it, and paste it. And now they will all have those settings for us. We won't have to come back and do that. I guess we could have done this and clicked the thing here, but we're going to use this later for other buttons as well. So let's change the name here. So at F2 on this, we'll call this the Find button. hit F2 on this one. We'll call this the Options button. And we'll hit F2 on this one. We'll call this the Quit button. Those are all of our main menu options. Feel free to add more buttons if you have more options. So let's change the text here from host game to find a match. The options, we'll change that to options or settings or whatever you'd like. And the quit, we'll change that to quit. So our main menu is actually set up from a design perspective. We do need to go over to the graph now and determine what happens when the player clicks on these buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to the graph. And this is going to be pretty short, so let's go ahead and just do this in this video, and then this video is actually going to be short because the main menu is really nothing to it. It's just a central location for all of our other functions and everything. So let's see. Let's delete the event tick. We won't need that. Event construct. We are going to need to get a reference to our game info instance and store that. So let's right-click and say get game instance. You can drag off of this and cast to the game info instance. Let's connect this up. Let's promote this to a variable. Right-click, promote to variable, which we will call the game instance ref. Game instance ref, or game instance reference. That's all we're going to do for this event construct script. So I'm just going to add C, say get a reference to the game info instance. That's all it does, really. Okay, we need to figure out what happens when the player clicks the host button, so we can select that. And down in the details, the on click, let's add an on click for that. And what happens is, first thing we're going to do is remove from parent. We're going to remove from parent, and we're saying remove the main menu. What we're then going to do is hold control, take our game instance ref, drag that in, drag off of this. We're going to say show host menu. So this is why we started with the game instance first, because now we're calling that here. And that's all we need to do. Actually, so let's add a comment around this and say bring up and display the host game menu. Okay, very similar to the find button and options button. So the find button, add an on clicked. Take this, take both of these actually, this and this, because we're going to need those. Copy, paste, connect this to this. Now we're going to say show server menu. So add a comment around this. Bring up and display the server menu. Go to the options, add an on-clicked. Let's take both of these, copy, paste, plug that in, so, and show options. Comment around that. Display the options menu. Let's see. The last thing we need to do is what happens when we quit. So let's go to the quit button, add an on clicked for quit. And for this, we're going to say quit game. Quit the game. Now it's asking for the specific player. We could just drag off of this and say get owning player. So the player that is associated with this UI, so get the owning player. And that's all we need to do for that. Add a comment around this and say quit the game. I believe that's it. That's all we need to do for our main menu. Our main menu is very simple, actually. So let's compile and save and close this. If we play now, we should see our main menu, which is right there. And we can highlight over things. If we quit, we should quit, which we do. So I think we're good. This is a short video, actually, but I didn't want to start on a separate section in this video. So we're going to wrap here. We're done with our main menu for now. We're going to go on to the host menu in the next video. And it's going to be a little bit different than what we did now. So we're going to pause and we'll pick it back up in the next video where we start working on our host menu.